Kids are going to have difficult and challenging experiences, even traumatic and dissociative experiences. And we as parents need to be able to recognize and understand how it's affecting them and try to help them to process and to heal. Because trauma can really fragment the entire personality structure and it can affect you for a lifetime. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a few of maybe four of Jessie's traumatic experiences. So the first one, she was about a year old, and there's New Year's Eve, and we usually go downtown to watch the fireworks. And we thought it'll be okay, we thought it'll be fun for her, but we weren't really thinking very clearly because downtown Johannesburg is rowdy on New Year's Eve. It's crazy, it's chaotic, and people are going crazy, and alcohol is flying in the air, and cherry bombs are bursting here, and bright lights. And so I could see she was overwhelmed, she was panicking. So I took her and I ran back to the car as fast as I could and got inside and closed the doors and turned the music up. But you could still hear the big fireworks had begun by then. And yeah, so in the days and weeks that followed, she became very sensitive to loud sounds and bright lights, and even music on TV or scenes on TV or music in the car. And so, yeah, I started researching like, what can we do about this thing? But I had this intuitive sense that I need to help her to talk through it, because this pressurized, volatile, raw bundle of terror and confusion, chaos, is stuck down there in this traumatic memory system, and any little fragment can trigger trigger it again. So we need to build a bridge by helping her story the memory, uh, put together the fragments again into a coherent whole. So, yeah, I would get her to talk about that night, what happened, where did we go, and what did you see, and what did you hear, and so she would tell me the story, and I would put in the bits and pieces she was missing and help to knit it all together again. But also there was Iron Man 2, and so it's not really a kiddies movie, but we were watching it and she became very troubled by it because it starts with Iron Man jumping out the back of this plane and there's fireworks that are bombarding him, and so she couldn't watch it, not at all. And so, but I would encourage her, and so each time we'll watch a little bit and watch a little bit more and a little bit more, until eventually we watch that whole opening sequence till he lands on the ground and he stands up and there's a big party and music. uh, yeah, so yeah, within a few weeks, or was it months, we had processed that traumatic experience and she was fine again. And so a couple years later, I remember we went to watch the fireworks down by the beach, and it was such a beautiful experience, and she loved it, and she was not in the least bit afraid. And yeah, so the other one, she was about 4 years or 5 years old, and they were coming home from school. She's coming with her mom, and they get off the bus, and Jessie's overexcited, and she rushes out ahead, and she's turns the corner, and now she's alone, and these two dogs come at her, barking, and like really vicious dogs. And yeah, she was terrified, and eventually someone came and chased the dogs away. Lucky they didn't bite her. But by the time she got home, I could see she was really traumatized. And in the days and weeks that followed, she was too scared to go outside, to walk down the street. And I would have to carry her and hold her hand. And so I thought, what can we do? We got some doggy biscuits and doggy treats. I thought maybe we can bribe the dogs and make them our friend. But that didn't work. But a year later, and we were staying with another friend in the beautiful mountainous area on a farm, and they had these two lovely Labradors, kind of middle-aged or oldish, but also very easygoing and kind of loving doggies. And Jessie loved them, and she would play with them and hug them and even kiss them. And there were other animals on the farm also, but yeah, within a short time she was like fully healed. This is doggy therapy, and couple of weeks later, we went on this long walk to a neighboring village, and we found a stray dog, or he found us, and we fed him, and so he followed us all the way home. And so we took him in, and so she had a pet doggy of her own. And he was a bit of a rowdy little fellow, and he would nip at her, and he would, but she didn't mind, and she was fine. So, that's another one like fully processed and healed. Okay, so there was one more. It wasn't really traumatic, but anyway, she took a bit of a tumble on the slide and hurt her elbow. So she didn't want to go on the slide anymore. So one day I tried her because I knew it just needed one good experience to break her fear.